So just holding this, it feels like a weird combination of like a Xbox controller and a PlayStation controller, I guess. That's what it feels like to me anyway. Sticks are freaking pretty sticky, pretty standard. Everyone says these suck because it's just short throw, but I don't really see a difference, honestly, because I'm so used to the Steam controller with the digital just straight down. I don't use games that use the analog, but it feels fine to me. The D-pad actually feels like an old Super Nintendo D. You could use that pretty easily. A lot better than a trackpad. These two buttons right here are programmable apparently. You can make it do whatever you want. And then there's two buttons back here. The thing with this controller is it has a joint. The top of the sticks are basically, it means that it knows when you're putting your thumb on it. Most people use that, like the Steam controller, for use it to tell it when to turn the gyroscope on. That way it's not constantly, the gyroscope isn't constantly throwing you off. It only turns on when your thumb is on it. So that's the whole reason I wanted this thing, because the only thing, the other thing that has that is a Steam Deck. So I wanted the Steam Deck stuff in a smaller controller form. I don't know. It's not charged. I'm going to charge it, and then we're going to get Chinese food. So, I've been using this exclusively for about a week. I'm actually pretty impressed by it, and I'm gonna get to that on why. I think a lot of you have you got this wrong, basically. I know a lot of you are saying, "Oh, it's just a freaking cheap controller with the Steam logo slapped onto it." There's a lot in this controller that I wanted in a Steam controller too. Do I miss the touchpads? Sort of. I don't get to that, but I've used my Steam controller like almost exclusively since it came out. I've went through the growing pains of getting used to it. Didn't even touch the gyroscope on it for probably about 2 years. Ever since then, I've been pretty adamant about a gyro. But before that, everybody knows Xbox controller, PlayStation controller. They feel really good. They feel really solid. For a while there, I did switch from my Steam controller to one of these. I always missed the gyroscope. Like, ever since I got used to the gyroscope, I needed one. So I went through a lot of different controllers trying to get that nice premium feel from a controller like this. You still having the gyroscope from that. And one of the things I did, you connect this to the top of your Xbox controller. It just snaps in. It actually acts as a battery pack. And then it also puts a gyroscope on your Xbox controller. Then what happens in Steam is you tell it it's a Nintendo controller, because those have gyroscopes. And I tried it maybe twice. A gyroscope just didn't feel right. It just never felt right. It never felt as good as these, ever. Like, and that's the point I'm trying to get at. Yes, the PlayStation 5 controllers, I had one, and I actually did a couple of videos on that, trying to get the capacitive stick. You put tape on the freaking touchpad. It worked, but it still didn't feel right. Anything I tried with a gyroscope never felt as good as one of these. Like, these are my 3. I've actually bought 5 over the years. These are the ones that are left. That's the original one. You can see I had a Nintendo cap on it. That stopped working. That won't even turn on. I used this one for a real long time. This one's probably the one that I used the longest. You could see the stickers kind of wearing down. This one still turns on, but the face buttons don't work at all. I haven't done anything with it. I might actually swap the boards out or something, or swap these out into something else. And recently, I've been using this one. You could see that I'm having a really hard time finding extra stickers, but you could see I have been using this, man. I love this thing. I absolutely love it. The battery life is great. Touchpads, gyroscope, it really did do the thing that Valve set out to do with it. That's the thing I'm having with this, because all the complaints I had with this thing were solved with this. What I don't see most people talking about is the gyroscope too much. This gyroscope on this is just as good as this one. I have tried so many different controllers, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox, with this fucking thing. This gyroscope is just as good as this. And I've tried the Steam Deck gyroscope. I don't even like that one. I tried it like twice. I don't know what the settings were with it. Maybe it's because there's a screen on it and it just doesn't feel right. I'm so used to using this like where you're pointing it at the screen like this, back and forth, up and down. You know, the screen thing didn't do it. I tried it, but I absolutely love the capacitive sticks, and that's the selling point here with me. Short throw analog, not a huge deal. Seriously, it's, you know, maybe it's just me because I don't really play racing games. The dual trigger stage triggers, it's, for me, I never actually really used them. Don't get me wrong, this is great. This is awesome, but at the same time, we all know Valve's starting to like kind of move away from it. Kind of sucks because every update with Steam Big Picture, it gets more buggy. There's less things. Certain things don't work. It gets more annoying to try and configure. I also wish they kept the same Big Picture mode configuration with it. It was easy. It made sense. It's just sad. I know a lot of you are moving to ReWASD. I don't want to have to do all that. Try to keep things as simple as possible. I grew up as a console gamer. That's why I kind of love this thing so much. Over the last week of using it, I'm actually pretty impressed. The D-pad is actually exactly what I said it was. It literally feels like a Super Nintendo D-pad, like an old school one. I can actually play fighting games with it. I can never play fighting games with this. Not that fighting games are really my strong suit. Emulators, 2D games, it's so much more comfortable doing it with this. I could do with that and play it, but this just feels more natural. Like I said, the selling point for me, the gyroscope, is exactly what the Steam controller had, and I could never get it to feel right with any other controller that I've ever used. PlayStation 4, Xbox, this Fandango thing, Nintendo, anything. Nothing felt as good as this thing, and now this does, except we have sticks now. I haven't played any RTS games. Those are not my strong suit. I love them, but I suck at them. But I'm telling you, the gyroscope on this feels good. Now, do I miss the feedback? Yes. The force feedback is something that it should have. It's funny because when you go onto Steam, it says it has it, even though it doesn't. So I'm wondering if the controller actually has it. When you open up the older Nintendo Hori pads, there's actually, on the boards, someone opened up a Nintendo Hori pad that looks almost exactly to this. And they saw the mounts in it for force feedback motors. And then they saw on the board solder points where you can put motors on it. Seriously, if that works, that'd be fucking awesome. Battery life, probably a day and a half charged. Not bad. Actually, a little bit less than this. And we all know how bad battery life is in a PlayStation controller. This thing, this is months. This is months and months of two AA batteries. Me, I'm fine with the day and a half, 2 days before having to plug it in. No complaints there. I'm thinking when I open it up, you probably could get a bigger battery in it. What else am I missing? Everybody says it feels cheap. Yes, it's light. It's very light. To be honest, if you take the batteries out of this, it feels cheap too. And I remember that's one of the things that people said about that. It feels cheap. It sucks. Yeah, it's fucking light, and it has nothing to do with the gyroscope being better to use, blah, blah, blah. I guess if they had motors in it, it'd probably feel a little bit more premium. It doesn't feel bad. I mean, like I said, it really feels like an evolution of this and a PlayStation controller put in a one with a little bit more buttons. These two buttons, programmable. Those two on the back, programmable. Those two are worthless. I don't know why they bothered putting those there. Stupid. Maybe it's a Hori thing. I don't know. But the other thing, too, is this thing has actually really good support on Steam Big Picture. Probably better than this. Not going to lie. When you put this into Steam Input and plug it in, it knows what it is. It actually shows you a picture of it on the Big Picture mode. You can program the buttons. You could do everything and anything you want, just like it knows. You know what I mean? So, one last thing I want to add, Bluetooth on this. It gives you a dongle, but some people are complaining that the gyroscope is jittery on Bluetooth. I don't have that problem. I play the games fine with it. I haven't tried it wired, but it feels fine to me, especially from the years of freaking practice I've had with this. It literally feels the same as this, except with this, I actually use high haptics with gyro and touchpad. That way I can hear and feel what it's doing as it's moving. I do kind of miss that in this. After about a week, I've kind of gotten used to it. Can't really complain there. All in all, I'm actually quite impressed by it. It's a stretch getting it imported. I kind of hope that it does come over here, because I think Steam has the right idea with it. It has a lot of the features that the Steam controller has. The gyro feeling exactly the same was the just oh shit moment for me, where it was, this is awesome. Because I said I could not get that feeling from this on any other controller I've had. Nothing. Like, it really does make a huge difference, especially when you're a huge FPS gamer and you got to use it to aim and stuff. It really does. So I think everybody's got it wrong. It's not junk. It's not just a freaking Steam controller logo on a Hori pad, even though it looks like it. I understand why Valve took this way and had another, party doing it. They kind of got their ass burned with this. I hope they actually go this route with it if they do make another one. But for now, I'm probably gonna do most of my gaming on this. It really is pretty good, guys. Like, I don't pass this up. If you got a chance, give it a shot, and don't just throw it away like like other YouTubers do. They just, oh, this is cheap, it's garbage, and then they don't keep on it. Me, I'm stubborn when it comes to technology. I was stubborn with this. It took me about 2 months to get used to this, not including the gyro. You know what I mean? Like, I was very stubborn with it. This, it feels like I'm going back to the roots. Except now everything I've learned with the gyroscope and programming the controller and doing all the buttons and doing all the cool stuff this has, it just feels like the step in the right direction.